Good people, what's going on? Welcome to episode 81, the Dome Podcast. And tonight, my guest, special guest, man, media personality, influencer, radio host, blogger, man, have worn so many hats in this culture, man. One of the hosts of hip hop and R&B throwback Apple Music podcast, man. Rubbed shoulders and done business with who's who in this culture, man. So it's my pleasure, man. My guy, Low, what's good, brother?
What's good, man? How you? What's the word, man? Appreciate you having me on the show.
Hey, man, appreciate you doing it, man. So look, real quick, man, Jersey, right?
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
Born and raised in Jersey, man. Coming up, man, like, you're going to get into this real quick. Like, any MCs or collectives, man, or albums or just influence you to really want to be part of the culture, man?
I mean, outside of Jersey, you got Redman, you had Lords of the Underground, Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature. List goes on and on, man. So it's just, you know, I gotta credit my sister really for putting me on to not only just Jersey artists, but just New York and the West Coast. And she's about 4 or 5 years older than me, so she was always listening to Hot 97, watching
Right.
MTV, Video Music Box. So I pretty much was just following her footsteps and listening to the shit she was listening to. She was always listening to DJ Clue, the Monday Night
Right.
Mixtape, and buying mixtapes. So it's pretty my sister Nikki who kind of scratched that bug for music, and I just took it to another level after I got to high school and to college, and it's
Yeah.
just blossomed from there.
So once you got the college, I think it was Howard University, correct?
Yes, Howard University.
Didn't you do a radio show there, man? Talk about that.
It was WHBC 8:30 a.m. The show was called Live and Direct, and I had it for about 3 years, and I won the On Air Personality of the Year award my last year at school
Word.
for Black colleges on the East Coast.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so that pretty much jump started or created my love for radio, and because I initially wanted to be a DJ, but I didn't have the equipment to do it, so I just started
So
talking about it.
was you doing it like little like house party in high school or college, doing your own little thing?
No, I never did. I never, I made like little mixtapes. Like
Right.
I would listen to Monday Night Mixtape. I would listen to the Drama Hour with K Slay, and I would like chop up,
Yeah.
their show and then put, my own little mixtapes together and give them out to my friends and my sister's friends. That was the closest thing I got to DJing.
Yeah. What's funny is, man, I was talking to someone recently about people think that in the 90s, man, a lot of radio stations were playing like pure hip hop, but that really wasn't the case in a lot of places, man. So college radio was really that savior if you wanted to hear like a lot of underground joints and all that, man.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what we was doing, that's what we was doing at Howard. I was like trying to, that's when like, the mixtapes were prevalent, and like, Napster and Audio Galaxy. So I'm finding
yeah,
just so many different records and different, artists, new artists, like some of the guys that we love and know today. They're just getting their start. This is like 2006, 2007.
oh,
Oh
okay.
no, I'm even further back, 2005, 2005, 2004. So, we're finding all these new artists and new albums, and I'm just putting them on my radio show. The show's called Live and Direct, and we did it 5 days,
Yeah.
4 days a week. So I'm just playing leaked music and freestyles and all this other type shit. It was pretty much heaven for me.
And so for you, that's after the period of pirating, man. Because I remember, like, for example, I went to UNCG and A&T down here in North Carolina.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so I remember around 99, I had graduated, man, and like not LimeWire, but like Napster started. I remember Nas I Am, all them tracks leaked on, and it was like Napster got big with pirating. And then at some point, man, years later, spots like that, Piff and Two Dope Boys and stuff, you can get a lot of dope music from there. You know what I'm saying? Like more legit.
That you made a great point around 99, 2000, because that's when I graduated high school. So I remember like one of the first albums I ever downloaded or ever bootleg was Nelly's Country Grammar, because that's he debuted his shit in I think 99, 2000. And then when I went to college, I was just like burning CDs, selling, like making my own little mix CDs for people. Because people weren't too prevalent on how to like get music. It was either like if you lived in New York, you would go to like the mom and pop mixtape stores or whatever, and then bring them back down to school. So what I was doing was I was downloading from Napster, Audio Galaxy, BearShare,
I
Style, like
remember.
all that shit.
Yeah.
And just making my own shit.
And look, everybody became DJ Clue during that time. Cause I remember, man, going to like Walmart, buying all them CDs, and I put like T. Haynes mixtape volume 3. You know what I mean? Like, and
that's
you can make
all
your
I
own
was. That's all I was doing, bro. All I was doing during like that time in college. I was a I was pretty much a DJ without being a DJ. I was making my own mixtapes. I was
Hey,
bootlegging albums.
was
I had
living
my own,
foul, wasn't we?
yeah, I had my own little mixtape shop right out of my room, bro. Like made flyers and everything. Like I was the go-to guy because people didn't know what Napster was or how to activate it or how to use it. And I was
Yeah,
just like I was more so like just more internet prone and more tech
yeah,
savvy to the point where it's like, I taught myself how to get certain
right,
sites and certain things that people didn't have, and I got stuff early. I was doing a lot of just that's how I was eating. I was selling mixtapes for like $5,
right.
$10, selling bootleg albums for like $5, $10, and that's just pretty much how my love for music. And I just took that to the radio show, so because I would have everything early, so I got to play all these songs and albums before everybody had them.
So didn't at some point, I might have read this a while back, wasn't you doing something with Bad Boy, had an internship or something?
Yeah, I had an
Oh, that
intern.
happened.
Yeah. I had an internship with Bad Boy around the time I want to say Barack. I think like Barack was campaigning because
Okay.
I remember Puff was campaigning for Barack.
Yep. That voted
Right.
out, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's when I was there. I was there during
Okay.
the Vote or Die days. I wasn't there after all that other shit
Right.
so just before, if anybody want to try to chop this clip up, like yeah,
Right, right, right.
Low was a part of that. Like no, the fuck, no, I wasn't. I wasn't a
We'll
part of
make sure we
that.
won't let that happen, Lo.
Yeah, I wasn't a part of that, but yeah, I was his junior executive assistant for like
Wow.
a year or so. Met
Did you
some
deal with any
great.
artists at that time also? Or was it more like editorial type stuff? Or
No, I was working like literally under him. Like I was like
okay,
my
okay,
desk was like right outside his office. So I was going to the studio and
okay.
running errands for the niggas. So it's just like yeah, like I was in the office with them every day.
Wow. So after that, college, radio, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff with Bad Boy. What was your next move after that, bro?
My next move after that was I graduated school, and then that's when I created the website. You heard that new,
Okay.
um, because I was looking for a radio job after I graduated. I couldn't really find one. I didn't have enough experience, so I pretty much got a job at this local hotel, DoubleTree Hotel in New Brunswick, and then I created this website called You Heard That New because I still had access to mixtape DJs and
Right.
managers and artists because I had built those relationships when I was in college. And I kind of made a name for myself. So when I created the website, I'm like, yo, what do people say to each other when they hear new music? They're like, oh, you heard that new Hove, or you heard that new
Yeah,
Kendrick, or you heard that new Drake, and I'm like, all right, shit, that's what the name of the site is gonna be called. So
right.
my man from DC, he went to American University. His name is Tom McLeod. He was a big tech dude, and me and
Okay.
him got real cool, just through the internet. So he was like, yo, I told him my idea. He was like, yo, I'll do the tech stuff. I'll do all like the server stuff. I'll do
Right.
all that stuff, and you just do the editorial. And that's pretty much what I did. I just started leaking music, writing, doing a lot of writing on there, reviewing mixtapes, reviewing
Right.
albums, leaking songs when I wasn't supposed to.
Right. Right.
Uh, so yeah, that's pretty much where that went after I graduated Howard.
Word. So then, how many years did that website did you keep that flowing? You know what I'm saying?
I had that going from about 2000 because I graduated 2005 and I created the website I want to say 2006, and I think I kept it going to around 2014, 15, 13, like around that time. You know,
So during that time too, though, what did you start like hosting events and things of that nature?
yeah, I mean, I started, during that time I also got a job at BET.com.
Well,
And
gotcha.
I
Okay.
became yeah, I became a music well, I went to school for journalism.
Right.
So my degree's in journalism. So I got a job as a journalist at BET.com while still running You Heard That New.
Okay.
And then in the middle of all that, I started hosting events just randomly. Funny story, Mecca from Two Dope Boys, is one of my guys.
Okay.
Obviously, he's a DJ. So we were at, I want to say this is Santos Party House on Lafayette in New York.
Mhm.
So he's DJing the event, and rest in peace, Dallas Penn is hosting the event. So I'm just there supporting my man Mecca. I'm on stage with him and whatever. Funny thing, Dallas Penn leaves. Like he goes to do another event,
Mhm.
right? So he dips out, and Mecca is changing over from the other DJ to his set. So he was like, "Yo, it's too much dead air. Just talk to the crowd for a minute." I'm
Right.
like, the fuck you want me to say? Like, I ain't, like, because at this point I'm not a host. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just a
got you.
guy behind the computer. So I'm like,
Right.
what do you want me to say? He was like, yo, just say anything. I just need this. I have to switch these cables, and I gotta get my Serato up. So I'm like, all right. Like, so at this point, I'm like 4 blue moons in, so I'm kind of, a little drunk or whatever. So I
Right.
get
Right.
on the mic and I just start talking shit like, yo, welcome to Santos, da 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 da, Meg Dot's up next. And it just came natural.
Yeah.
So then I ended up hosting like the rest of the event. And so on my way out, I'm going home. This dude asked me, he was like, yo, when's your next event? I'm like, bro, I wasn't even supposed to be hosting this.
Right.
I don't know. But, I told him on Twitter, I'm like, yo, just follow me on Twitter. And, I guess whenever I host something, you'll see it. So that's pretty much how things started out outside of that.
Man, that's crazy. So once you got comfortable with it, you started doing a
Yeah,
pretty often.
once
You
I got
started
here.
getting gigs.
Yeah, once I started getting comfortable with it, me and my friends, shout out to Somia, Somia, and my other guy Niles, we did this party called La Rosso. It's at Grace Hotel, and then I kind of that got my hosting chops up doing that. Like it would be like a weekly industry mixer, and I would host that. He would DJ it, she would promote it, and then that went on for a minute, and then I just started
Mhm.
hosting at SOBs.
Okay.
Yeah, I hosted Kendrick's first show at
Oh, word.
SOBs. Yeah, this is I think 2009 or 10, something like
Man,
that.
we're
Yeah,
gonna talk about K Dot too, man. But that's
yeah,
during that
we'll
time.
get to that. Yeah, we'll
But
get
no,
to
no,
that.
no, no. It's dope you said that, man, because a lot of people think that he just started with Good Kid, Mad City, and they don't know his
Nah,
grind before that with the Kendrick Lamar EP, man,
and
overly
then
dedicated. Oh, he got a lot of music
yeah,
before Section
like
80.
yeah, it was the Kendrick Lamar EP or mixtape, and then the Section 80, and it's a lot of things that Dot was doing. But I think this was around, yeah, I think this was around Section 80,
Well,
and
let me
it
ask you
was.
a question, Lo. During that time when you hosted that event and you saw him, man, did you see anything in him at that time? You say, man, the kid got something there.
No, I mean, like, one SOBs, shout out to Larry, he's the owner of SOBs, and
Mhm.
Kaza and my boy Leroy, they booked me and Matt, they would book us for all these shows. And you had
Mhm.
everybody coming through there. You had Black Hippie came through there, like Absol did a
Yeah.
show, Traded Truth,
Uh,
Slaughterhouse. Like
right.
me and Mecca were there for about a smooth. We were hosting everything that came through that venue for about 2 years. But
Okay.
when we saw Kendrick, it was just like, New York is a very, very hard place to perform in. And
Right.
a crowd, they're a very, very hard crowd to please, especially SOBs. True hip hop
Right.
heads come through
Right.
there, big true hip hop fans come through there. But at that point, Kendrick was already bubbling. He was just
Mhm.
already moving around the country. But yeah, when he came to SOBs, it was like, yeah, this is a no brainer. Like he's in next couple of years he's gonna be out here. But
Right.
that night was special.
Now that's dope, man. Because I was trying to tell someone recently. I said, look, man, if you think stuff started with Section 80, man, you got to go back and do the knowledge, man. I said when
Yeah.
he was really like K Dot, he was hungry at that time, man. And some of those mixtapes back then were like, and you know this from dealing with your website, and then Two Dope Boys and all that stuff.
hmm
Mixtapes then with original music was I consider them albums.
Yeah, I mean, like those are the things that set you up for the plays. Those are the
Yeah,
things that got you your deals. It got you your tour slots. You feel what I'm saying? Like your
yeah,
opening slots because you had a dope mixtape and niggas online loved it, and that was your
yep,
audition into
yep.
the industry. You know what I mean? So yeah, that Kendrick Lamar EP mixtape that was a thing, and then Section
Mm-hmm.
80 that was a thing, and it's like yeah. So it's like you gotta. Those were the days. Not, I mean, those were the days, but like that's when you put your foot in the ground and you
Yeah,
ran in the mixtape. That's what even with Drake's, Room for Improvement,
absolutely.
all of those joints that set him up for so far
Comeback
gone.
season, all that.
Yeah, comeback season that set him up for so far gone, and boom,
Absolutely.
look at him now.
Yeah, it's great. So speaking of audition, when you started doing stuff at SOBs and other places like that, was you like making connections at that point? Because you already
Yeah,
that been in the industry with Bad Boy and all that stuff. So we just kind of parlaying that to a lot of different jobs at the time.
yeah, like I met a lot of different interesting people. I mean, a lot of my connects came through when I was working at BET.
Okay.
Because we had it was like BT.com, and then it was like BT, like the network,
Yeah.
right? So that at that time, that's when 106 and Park is just booming. So
Mhm.
we would go over to to the set and interview artists. So that's how I got like my relationships with label artists, label reps,
Yeah,
managers. That's where those connections started to come in, and then people remembered me from BET. Then I started hosting events, and the whole Palooza thing started to happen. So
right,
it was
right,
just a weave of like
right.
just different shit I was doing.
So, how did the Apple Music podcast? How did that pop off for you?
Well, the Apple Music thing started. This is 2015, and I had an audition tape that I wanted to send into Hot 97. And so I think I sent it to Ebro, and Ebro was like, "Yo, hold off. I got something better for you." So
Okay,
I'm like, "All right, like cool, like whatever." So
right.
I remember one night I was out to dinner, and he calls me, and he's like, "Yo,
Mhm.
what you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just out to eat, whatever." He was like, "Yo, step outside, like I want to talk to you." So I'm like, "All right." So he puts me on three-way, I think, with this talent. The talent manager's name is Warren, and it's like almost like an interview on site, like
Gotcha.
on the phone. So he was like, "Yo, tell Warren what you do." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yo, yeah, this is Warren. He works at the time it was called Beats One." He's like, "Yo, he works at Beats One." Da da da. He's like, "Well, yo, tell Warren what you do about the Palooza shit and SOBs and your website." So I'm like, it's like a 15-minute damn near interview, and I'm just running my mouth like, "Yeah, I did this and I did
Yeah.
that," but just giving him my resume. He's like, "All right, just stay by your phone and check your email, blah blah blah." So then I get on. I forgot. I think it was Carly. It was either Carly or Warren that I would have weekly auditions
Mhm.
for Beats One. And I remember, I think after like the fourth week, they were like, "Yo, relax, you got the job." I'm like, "What?" So I'm like doing all these auditions,
Right.
not knowing that they already like made a decision to hire me. They're like, "Yeah, yeah, don't stop sounding nervous. You got the job already."
Yeah.
And like a week later, the NDAs came through, contract came through, and then I think July 4th, 2015 was my first day and my first shift. And God being the glory, I'm still there.
Man, that's 10 years later.
Yeah, yeah,
In this space, man, like people come and go, man, and have that consistency, man, and that following, man. That's a testament to what you guys are doing, man. Because 10 years is like a lifetime.
yeah,
Thinking,
yeah. It doesn't even seem like 10 years. I hope I'm not getting the date wrong, but like, yeah, this is like Beats One, which then turned into Apple Music One years later. But yeah, I was one of the first,
yeah,
one of the first ones.
I see you on that clown a couple times, dog.
But yeah, I was one of the first personalities for the
Yeah,
playlist of shows, and then it turned into like doing other little side stuff on Apple, and then it turned into having my own show, hip hop R&B throwback,
yeah,
and then turned into to Rap Life Review. So it's been a very very uh, great experience.
yeah.
Met so many different wonderful people from here to LA to London, all over the place, and just
Mhm.
thankful for the experience and thankful to still be employed and still be a big factor,
Facts.
part of that conglomerate.
No doubt, man. Well, appreciate you sharing that story, man. Because I definitely want you to do that, man. Because
Yeah,
it's not because it's a dope journey, man. Because
yeah,
who a lot of people can't say, hey, man, I had a radio station. I mean, hosting a radio joint at Howell, a Rock with Bad Boy internship,
yeah,
in the Apple Music, man. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely been
yeah,
blessed with that, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So now, before we get into 2025, and then tonight we're gonna talk about moments in hip hop. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay.
But just summarizing 2024, Lo, what's your overall take, man? Because this mine real quick was is that resurgence of the West Coast, man, thinking about, of course, the battle, then K Dot
Hmm.
doing what he did last year, Snoop having an album, Ice Cube having an album, the Dog Pound having an album, hearing
Hmm.
Lady of Rage again was dope to me, you know what I'm saying, and Event Staples and so on, Tyler.
Hmm.
It was like the West Coast resurgence, man. But what was the overall take on 2024?
I mean, that you pretty much just took the words right out of my mouth. The West Coast, planted their flag, and from the OGs to the new Gs,
Yeah.
making their voice heard and making their voice known as they should, and not riding the back of Kendrick, but like Kendrick kind of just kicking that door in, and allowing the West Coast to be heard loud and clear. And you got to give it up to DJ Head for also spearheading that movement and getting these guys more visible and more action. And that's what you
Yeah,
want. You want people on the ground who's head's been on the ground for
right,
God knows how long. So this
right.
ain't, if y'all thinking he just popped up out of nowhere, y'all got to do your homework on DJ Head and who he's been around and
That's
who
right.
he's helped. You feel what I'm saying? So shout out to
Yeah,
him
yeah.
and
He's
seeing
not new.
you. Yeah, he ain't new at all. But I look at 2024 as it's like, the bad guy or the boogeyman came in and yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna, like, I've had you've seen me on Twitter and on Rap Life and whatever the case is. Like, I've had countless conversations. It's, you're gonna feel how you feel about the battle. You're gonna feel how you feel about the Grammys and the Super Bowl and this, that, and the
right.
third. The man had a great, phenomenal year. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like
One
you
of the
can't.
best
It's one
years
of the best. It's just like
ever.
whether you like dude or not, like polarizing, captivating, influential, impactful, numbers to cultural to music to visibility, just to being himself, to
Man,
represent for the culture. It's just there. It's all there, and it's you can you glazing this, that, and the third. But like if it wasn't that, if it wasn't this big of a conversation, we wouldn't be talking about it.
people don't like facts, do they, Lo?
I don't know what people like. I understand what it is. I understand people got their bias. I understand that people got their
Yeah,
champion.
I
I get
fight
it.
the good fight too, bro. I get it.
I get it, but I'm not gonna sit here and argue. If you want to argue about shit that's black and white, then there's nothing to argue about because it's black and white and there's facts and
Look,
it's proven.
I got I got a lot of pushback when I said, and I'm stand by this. I told the same thing to Rob the other week when he was on here. I said that Kendrick and Drake was the biggest battle in hip hop history, and the reason why I said that was because we're in the social media era. Same way with Not Like Us. I didn't say it was the greatest. I said it's
Mhm.
the biggest diss in hip hop history because once you hit upload, the whole world hears it. It took on a whole life of itself. And I told these cats that night, there wasn't no bots. That night when it came out, it was DJs all over the world playing it live in clubs. I said, yo, facts over feelings and facts over opinions. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying? Then,
mean,
come on.
it is what it is. Like that struck a chord in a lot of hip hop fans, a lot of hip hop artists. It just it came from a person that we know what he's capable of. We know like that man pen to pad is one of the dopest, best out ever. And
Ever
I
to me. Yeah.
yeah, and I think what we saw was like we saw a person that got tested and decided to say, okay, like if this is what we're gonna do, like I can do this too. And not
Yeah.
to say Drake can't, because Drake,
Right.
held his own against Push and held his own against Meek, and so he's been battle tested.
No doubt.
But this one, this character from Compton is a little bit different than what you've been up against. So I love the fact that it gave us something to continuously talk about. It gave us the
Shit, that was one of the best
appreciation.
week. That was one
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
best
yeah.
weekends ever.
Yeah, bro, like I remember I was in LA, I think a week or two after it. And I was hosting a party in West Hollywood, and it was just like this like very like upscale joint. Like LeBron was there, Anthony Davis had pulled up.
Mhm.
And it was like I think maybe a week or so after the song comes out, and they're singing this shit like they wrote it. Like Bron in there dancing to it. Daylight was there. I think that's the video that someone had recorded of Bron like dancing to it, like or
Okay.
singing to it. Like that was the
Yeah,
party I was hosting.
got you. I didn't know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the party I was hosting. So it was something that we haven't seen, but
It
social
was lightning in
media.
the bottle, bro. Lightning in the
Yeah,
bottle, same way when 50 Cent came out in the club and he took over rapping in
yeah.
2003. It's the lightning in the bottle that happened with 50. Same thing happened with Kendrick. And to your point, I was in LA about a month after the song came out because my wife had a conference there. So I took a couple days out working, flew out there with her. And I'm
Mhm.
going to tell you, everywhere I went, it was everywhere.
Couldn't get away from it, and it was like, and then even to jump to now when now you see the discourse online like, oh, people weren't singing in the Super Bowl and da da da. Like you gotta look at it, it's two different landscapes. Like you have the
Too
crowd, the
good.
stadium, then you got the TV and like the production and all that other shit. But then I'm on TikTok a lot, right? So I'm
Mhm.
looking at all these Super Bowl parties and these outdoor parties
And
and
they rocking.
they rocking. So I'm like, I don't know what. Kai
Right,
Sanat or what anybody else and them talking about. But if you go online and you look at the street level of any city that they hosted a Super Bowl party,
right.
that narrative. Listen, like online is online, but real life showed me something completely different.
Everywhere you went, bro. Even when I was in Miami a couple of months ago, man, everywhere
Hmm.
you couldn't escape Kendrick. You know what I'm
Could it?
saying? Yeah,
And you
that,
still can't. You still can't.
and you're not gonna be able to for a long time because now
For a
the tour
very
about to
long
start.
time. Very long time. And it's like, and that's okay. Like, Dot is who he is. Dot has earned every inkling, every spot, every award. But there's room for both of them. Like
Yeah,
Homeboy,
absolutely.
Drake, yeah, Drake and P&D, they about to drop their album in about 3 hours. So it's like you can enjoy both, or you could just stay on one side or stay on another side, and that'd be that.
You know what's funny, man? I said recently, I said, people pick sides, and I remember even, I'm 49, man. In the 90s, cats picked side, they picked Big Ear Park, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I like both of them, but I say it's not against the law to like Big Ear Park, Nas and Jay-Z, Ja and 50, Jeezy and Gucci, whoever, I'm saying? I like the music supersedes the MC for me. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
But
That's
people
it.
can't understand it because I like a lot of Drake joints. You know what I'm saying? Like
I do too.
one dude told me, man, you dog, you're a Drake hater. I said, no, I just said for me, Kendrick won a battle. Everybody, if it's a battle, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. It ain't no damn time.
Somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. Somebody got to take the L. Somebody got to take the W. It's just, and whoever you think or thought that outperformed or outdid or out strategized or out rap, whatever the case is, that's who you thought. Cool. We can have a discussion about it. All right. You've explained to me why you feel that way. I've explained to you why I feel this way. It's going to continue to keep because like no one's going to budge, and that's
Nah,
fine. Like just because you think one way doesn't mean you're right or wrong, and vice versa. And that's it. We can just leave it at that.
and you can like both them C's, man. And I don't know why
Yeah,
that's so hard for people to grasp that concept, man. Like again, I like a lot of Drake joints. You know what I'm saying? Like I recently said,
I do too.
Take Care was an awesome album. I said, yo, this generation,
Phenomenal.
he has a classic for this generation because I'm gonna say this too though. A lot of old heads, we gatekeep sometimes, and we
Yeah,
act
of
like
course.
one of the things I said was hip hop classics didn't stop being made in December 31st, 1999, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a huge list of amazing albums and amazing MCs out from 2000 to now.
Yeah,
We gotta appreciate them. So I appreciate Good Kid, Mad City the same way I appreciate Reasonable Doubt.
and it classic material doesn't have a time frame. It's
Doesn't.
just it is what it is, and it may hit you differently or it may hit you at a different point, but it's still classic quality work. Is classic quality work. It don't matter when it comes out, and that's that.
That's a fact. So now looking into 2025, man, any expectations this year, man? I know one big conversation is Nas and Primo gonna drop, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of rumors, a lot of talking, people I know talking about it. You know what I'm saying? What you think going on with that, man?
I mean, I would love to see that relationship be rebirthed and them come out and really just do it again. I think Nas doesn't have anything else to prove.
No,
After what we've seen him do with Hit Boy, it's just like, bro, like, and I'm not saying oh, he has to stop, you got to wrap it up. I'm like, bro, you don't have to, but if you are, listen, I'll listen to it all.
bro. Two trilogies in 3.5, 4 years.
That's
That's
amazing. That's
Man, I
amazing.
said you appreciate this, man. I said, and some people thought it was some hyperbole when I said this, but I mean this. I said when Nas did with Hit Boy is the hip hop version of kind of what Stevie Wonder did in the '70s with his classic period, or when Marvin Gaye dropped off five albums in the '70s. People don't do what Nas did, man. And I ain't saying that because he's my favorite MC. I'm saying
Right.
that I don't care who did it. If any MC did what he just did with Hit Boy, I'd be like, I've never seen nothing like that.
That's just love for sport. That's it. It's love for sport. It's appreciation for your craft, and it's just like I just want to compete. Like I don't care from who's dropping. I don't care if it's Kendrick dropping. I don't care if it's Hove dropping. I don't care if
Right.
it's LL dropping. I don't care if it's Tyler dropping. I just want to compete in the sport that I love, and that's giving me the ability to feed my family, feed my friends, start
Yeah,
businesses, make money, and I want to keep watering that flower, and I want to make sure
man.
that people that come behind me know that they can do it at a high level the
Yeah,
way I'm doing it. So
yeah.
that's why I appreciate what Nas does and how much love he still has to create these pieces of work that make you feel like, yo, we're back in '96.
Still sound hungry, man. Like I told, I remember I was on a rap round table last year at one point, and we was talking about that KD3. Might have been, and I was like, look, when I heard Thun, it took me back to like '98 Nas, man. Like I said, for him to
Yeah.
still be at that kind of level, you know what I'm saying? At this point in his life, man, after 1991 Live at the Barbecue, and he really is the golden child. And I ain't just saying that. People can say whatever, call me whatever. I'm going by what I see.
The Golden
1991 to
Child, the Golden Child, the God MC, whatever you want to call him, he's earned every nickname, he's earned every right, he's earned every claim. So it's like, anyway, he's 50, 51, 52,
yeah.
something like that. It's like, bro, like if you still got it, go. Because
Yeah, man.
all you doing is inspiring that younger generation to continue to put love into the craft that has helped them become the artists that they are today.
Yeah, well, I hope that Primo album come, man. Because at one point I thought it was gonna be like Detox and shit. So it looked like it's about to come fruition. But I'm gonna tell
Nah,
you,
yeah, I definitely hope that again, and if they don't, then that's fine.
and
You
that's
know,
fine too.
yeah, if they don't, that is fine. But listen, if they do, I'll be ready for it.
You know what scares me? Another tandem that's supposed to be coming up soon too. And they said they had a listening party recently. Is that Alchemist and Most Def? But I'm gonna tell you why I'm nervous, Lo.
Okay,
Because I don't now. I said this the other day. I said Most Def is as talented as any MC I've ever heard in my entire life. But when
gotcha.
it comes to this album, I don't know if I'm getting Most Def and Talib Black Star Most Def with Black on both sides, or even Ecstatic, or if I'm gonna get True Magic Most and he gonna sing on half of the shit.
Well, I mean, you
Who tell you
gotta
now if he sing, but give me some bars too.
you gotta understand that there's no however they decide to express their art is
Yeah,
how they decide to express their art. When you look at Andre 3000, you're like, all right, a flute, okay. It might not be my cup of tea, but if
but he's
that's
happy doing it. But he's happy doing it.
yeah, if you're happy doing it, then who am I
Yeah,
to judge? But
I feel you.
he's given us a couple of feature verses throughout,
Yeah,
so that already that lets us know that okay, like there's still something in there.
yeah,
But he even said it, I think he said in the interview, he was like, I gotta be excited to rap about something. And I think Hove even said that he was like, if I'm not excited
yeah,
to rap about something, if I'm not excited to talk about something, if I have nothing to talk about, then I'm not gonna do it. And you know, going back to the Nas thing, clearly Nas got a lot to talk about, so
yeah,
that's what that looks like. But
yeah,
hopefully that if Most has something to talk about, and Alchemist is doing phenomenal.
yeah.
He's always
Absolutely.
been. They just put out that project with Two Chains and Larry June, and
Yeah,
they're saying the new Mobb Deep album is in the works.
I
So
saw that today. Yeah,
if Alchemist is the one to lead the charge, then I have complete faith that we'll probably get Black Star, most stuff.
yeah. Because Alchemist, at the end of the day, man, he doesn't miss much. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
not
Like
at all. Not at all.
he definitely one on ones. Now, also a rumor about that. Well, not a rumor. Pete Rock said that volume 2 of the auditorium is coming with him in Common, man. And I thought that first one was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So, phew.
This goes back, like I said, it goes back to to the conversation about, still competing within a craft that still has love and space for you.
Yeah,
And that Grammy nominated last year. Yo, let's keep this thing moving. Like we just celebrated 50 years of hip hop, and
yeah.
we're still hungry. Like it's just not the young man sport that everybody thinks it is. Like these dudes are still hungry. Like so, shit. Wu Tang is about to drop an album in April.
Word?
Yeah.
Man, I totally missed that. This is
Yeah, I
brand new
saw
to
that. I
me.
think unless somebody was lying to me, I saw a whole track list and everything. I'm like, yo, bro,
What?
like, yeah, like, I saw with my own 2 eyes, and I hope I wasn't being trolled or whatever the case is. I'm surprised that it's not a lot
Whoa.
more coverage around it, but we got Wu Tang. They're about to drop, and Mobb Deep is, you know,
Yeah.
rest in peace,
Yeah, I
Prodigy. But
know.
the Alchemist confirmed that they're working on. They said Nas is going to be a part of it. Like our OGs are still competing,
Yeah,
and like
Smith and Wesson
yeah,
about to drop
like
the album.
Redman just dropped his. LL dropped his. Method
Yeah.
Man is running around doing shit. Like you said,
Man, man, speaking of Meth real quick, man, like it's like he reinvigorated, man. Meth sound good, man. He
yeah.
still love the culture, man, and his rhyming still is top notch, bro.
That's all you want, man. Like, and again, like, you 49, I'm 43, so, well, 42, I'll be 43 in September. But these are the things and the people
Yeah,
and the parts of the culture we grew up on. So
facts.
while we still enjoying the Kendricks and the Wale's and the Drakes, yo, bro, like on this side, the LL is still going, Redman
Yeah,
still going, Nas still going, Mobb Deep is about to do their shit, Wu Tang is still going, you know, it goes on and on and on and on.
yeah,
So it's like we can have it all.
yeah. It's also a rumor that Ray doing Only Built for Cuban Links 3.
Shit, bro, like, let's go.
Bring it on, right?
Let's go. Fuck it. I'll take it all. Pause.
Hell yeah. So look, bro, now this is the part. Moments in hip hop, man. And, you know, with
Uh-huh.
the culture being over 50 plus years old, man, there's been so many moments, man. So we're gonna ring some off, man, and let me get your take on these moments.
Okay.
And we're gonna politic on that. The first moment, man, when the first time you heard it probably was later, but the first time you heard No Vaseline from Ice Cube.
Oh, that's a good question. The first time I heard that shit, damn. It probably wasn't till high school. You
What did
know,
you think when you heard it?
I was like, that nigga's disrespectful.
Right.
Like that nigga's disrespectful. But once I got the backstory and I got like timeline and lineage and all the other stuff, then it's like, oh shit, I get it. But that that that's crazy. You bring that up. That's my favorite diss record ever.
So I did. So Elliot Wilson did his top diss songs of all time like last year.
Uh-huh.
And one thing I do is when I see somebody's list, I don't critique nobody's list. I do my own, right? And so I said, yo, I see you, Elliot, but I'm gonna do my list now too. Let's compare kind of thing, you know. But
Right.
so I did my top 30 greatest diss songs of all time, and No Vaseline was number one. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so strategic the way Cube, he didn't even have anything on America's Most Wanted. He didn't diss NWA.
No,
You know
not
what
at
I'm
all.
saying? They started these diss tracks against Cube, and you talking about the end of Death Certificate, maybe one of the top 5 follow-ups to a classic album ever. You thought the album was going out, and that damn song came on.
Right, right.
And you take, man,
That's what I'm saying. Like you take all of that and then just throw the history behind what they went through and
yeah,
what they cultivated, what they started just with a certain genre of hip hop. And but to see them like kind of go toe to toe, it's like, damn, that's fucked up. But that man took on what, 3, 4 of them, and I'm like, yeah, this is bar none out of every district I've heard. That is my favorite
it's
one.
my favorite. It's number one to me, man.
That's number one. Yeah, it's number one on my list.
Yeah, so it's number one on my list. I'm gonna repost that damn list probably tomorrow. But and the crazy thing was, man, people forget how great MC Ren was, and when they did that track, "Real Niggas," that's an
Yeah.
amazing diss song. And if Cube wasn't Cube, that might have been, he would that would have hurt him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that hurt him. That hurt him. But Cube is Cube, so you can't really, like,
Yeah, yeah. So
can't
that's a
rewrite the
moment.
history.
Kate had no question. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
now, first time you heard Outkast, dog, and what did you think?
I think first time I heard Outkast, I was probably in school. Was it high school? It might have been like, I think it's between high school and college, but it's like when you taste something for the first time
Yeah,
and you just can't put your nose, like you can't put your finger on why it's good, but you're like, no, 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 like, yeah, don't, like you had like a restaurant, right? And they
yeah,
passed around hors d'oeuvres and shit or whatever. You had an event and they passed around hors d'oeuvres and you just randomly try it and taste it and you're like, oh, no, 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 don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. Let me get another one.
right,
Let me get another one. I think that's what Outcast was to me. I can't pinpoint my first like
right, right, right,
song
right.
or whatever, but it's just like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
who
yeah.
they were.
Right,
And me coming from the East Coast and from up north,
right,
I'm DMX'd out and I'm fucking Jay-Z'd
right,
out and
right,
fuck Biggie and Nas, and I hear these boys. It's like going to school and not the South, but going to school in DC and at Howard.
yeah,
Like you get exposed to just like people from Memphis, Chicago, Detroit,
right,
Houston, LA, Bama. Like it's just so many different motherfuckers that come from these cities and these regions, and they put all this music in front of you that you pretty much had no idea existed. And I
yeah,
think that's what that's what Outkast was for me. That's what UGK was for me. That's
yep,
what all those guys, Gucci, G, like just all those, the South, just 3 6 Mafia,
yeah.
I can go on and on.
Man, for us, me being here in North Carolina, it was a sense of pride, man, because I heard players ball first. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm like in high school, I heard players ball. I'm like, I kind of like them Jones, man. Them dudes, they pretty nice down there. Cause we already was up on UGK and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But then the Southern Playalistic joint came out, the title track,
Yeah.
and then Hootie Who and Get Up, Get Out,
Yeah.
Get Something. I'm like, oh, they got some shit. They got this some classic. So then when you get the whole album, it's an experience. Like same way when I heard the Chronic, you know what I'm saying, in high schools, like Dre took us to Compton and gave us a visual. Outkast
Hmm.
gave us a visual of Atlanta. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So after they came out, when you go down there, you're like, okay, that's East Park, that's College Park, that's so that's Decatur. And that came for me from Outkast, even though Jermaine Dupri and everybody before them, they made it a thing to talk about certain streets in Atlanta and certain spots.
And I mean, and that's when you bring it back to the East Coast, you look at how DMX did that for Yonkers, and
Yep.
you know what I mean, how Jay did that for Brooklyn, and how Nas did that for Queens, and how
Yeah.
Wu Tang did that for Shaolin. Like
Yep.
when you can pinpoint and you drive by these places in the country, and you go down these roads or these parts of the city in Atlanta and Houston, this, that, and the third, you just remember like them speaking so vividly
Mm-hmm.
about these like little, mom and pop stores and these. I know Jeezy spoke about Central's place and like, just like
Yep.
little like
Yep.
those little details really bring you to like love and appreciate certain artists and certain groups because like they're painting so many vivid pictures of shit that we don't have no idea about. But when we actually
Yep.
go to these places, we like, oh shit. When,
Yeah.
Kendrick speaking on, Tammy's Burgers and doing the video in front
Yep.
of, like it's like little nuances like that it's just is great.
No doubt. Man, do you remember the first time you heard, or just your thoughts on Scarface album, The Fix?
That came out with 2000 what?
The Fix was around 2000, what, three, 2 or 3 or
Three.
something like
It
that?
was 2, 3 or 4.
Something like that, 2003 or 4. It might have been after the whole 50 run.
Yeah, I think again that's I'm down. I'm at Howard again,
Because
and
I think my block came out first. That was the first single.
I think yeah. It was my block that I think what Guess Who's Back was on.
Yeah, Guess Who Back was on that? Because that's Jay-Z and Beans.
Yeah, so it's like again, me being having East Coast ears and
And
East
Kanye did
Coast
that beat.
eyes. Yeah, like you befriend people that just the way I love like the Locks, Fab, Cam, Dipset, this that they love Ghetto Boys, they love Pimp C. You like they love them just as much as we love them. So it's like we're
Absolutely.
tossing all that music at each other at the same time because like I'm from Jersey, he's from Houston, or he's from Chicago, she from Detroit, and she from Atlanta, and like they just like giving us they mixtapes, and I'm giving them my mixtapes, and I'm like, yeah, they like yo, you gotta listen to Joe Budden, like this dude is lyrically nice. You gotta
Yeah,
listen to
yeah.
the A Team and this guy Fab and da 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 da, and they're like, you gotta listen to Lil Flip and blah 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 blah. So it's just
Yeah.
like I'm just like, oh shit. So it's just like you just and then when you leave, graduate, you continue to follow these artists and then you continue to grow your own love for it. But yeah, I was just listening. Like I didn't have an opinion. I was just like, yo, shit is dope. This shit
I'm
is
glad you said what you said just now about your experience in school because it broadened your hip hop horizon and your hip hop knowledge leading up to who you are now. And I was talking to someone earlier today on Twitter, like, look, it's okay if you like one style of hip hop, but there's
yeah,
like 10 styles. And so there's not no better
bro.
style because everything is regional.
It's an infinity of styles. Like
Absolutely.
it's never ending, and there's still some shit that we ain't tap into yet. You feel what I'm saying? So, but me going to these, I went to Morgan first, and then I went to
Okay.
to Howard. But me going to Howard, it was just like it was a big pot of gumbo in the music sense.
Right.
Everything and anything was in that pot, and you got to choose what you wanted, how you wanted it cooked, and this, that, and the third. Oh, I like my rapping fast. All right, cool. Let me go and see what them niggas doing in Chicago. Oh, I like my shit slow, chopped and screwed. All right, cow. Let's go to Houston and see. Oh no, I like my shit with bass, and I like my
Right.
808s kicking. All right, cool. Let's go to ATL and see what's going on over there. Now I like my shit laid back and smooth and play like. All right, shit. Let's go to LA and see what them niggas doing. You feel what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like it was just so many different things. Oh, I like my hardcore shit. I like my da-da-da-da. Okay, cool. We going up to Brooklyn, Bronx, da da da, whatever the case is, Philly. You know what I mean? So it was great just to experience, and I just got so many different new artists that I loved, during my college experience, and then it helped me with my blogging because
Right.
then it's like I got to like, oh shit, there's niggas down there doing shit, and niggas put me on to people like, yo, this kid out of fucking, Houston is about to blow, da da da. Yo, this kid from Toronto, blah blah blah, and it's like I got to be like,
It made your
me,
blogs more interesting.
yeah, like not right, Two Dope Boys, Miss Info, Ill
Yeah.
Roots, OK Player.
Yep.
Everybody, we just got to pick off like, yo, this is the next guy. This is the next guy. Like, Nah Right had Drake before anybody did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was the hub. That's where I found him. I
Right.
found him on Not Right. But that's what the blogging thing, and that's what me going to school at Howard helped me with my blogging and helped me with my palette of music. Moving around in my career.
And that's the reason why I try to share so much different stuff on social media, because I like to try to broaden people's like music horizons. You can like Biggie, but you might be missing out on Corrupt. You might be missing out, you know what I'm saying, on some
Daz, you
cat,
might be
some
missing. Yeah, like
on
all them
Face.
boys.
You
Yep.
know, I can listen to Mobb Deep and Outkast. You know what I'm saying? I can listen to MOP and Souls of Mischief, and that's the reason why I share stuff. Where I have
Nigga, I could listen to the Locks in Crucial Conflict as well.
tax.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's palettes. Like what's your palette like? If your palette is just one way, cool, that's fine. And
That's
if
fine.
that's what you want, that's fine. But don't jump into conversations when niggas is talking about other shit because you chose to stay on one side, and that's cool. But if niggas is over here talking about everything else, you kind of excluded yourself from that conversation.
Like, yeah, and look, if you only like, for example, you know, New York rap, nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, bro.
If we talk about the South and the West Coast, stay out the conversation because you're not your horizon is not broad enough. You don't listen to these artists, so
Right.
I have to educate people on so many different lyricists and all this stuff because
Yeah.
lyricism is done in different forms. People think like, yo, if you don't rap like Ransom or Jadakiss, you're not a lyricist. I'm like, no, Scarface a lyricist.
Yes, Ice Cube is a
Ice Cube a
lyricist.
lyricist. MC Ren a lyricist.
Yeah.
E40 a lyricist.
Yeah.
Sure, the lyricists, they just lyrics are
They do.
done
It's a
in.
different technique and different texture. It doesn't mean that,
That's all.
man, it's just a different technique and texture, but the actual plot to the story is the same from a nigga from the East Coast as opposed to a nigga from the West Coast. I'm lyrical, but this is how I do my shit lyrically, and that's all right.
Yeah, Jizz are lyrical the same way MC8 lyrical, but you know how it is, man. We
I
try to talk
know,
to these
I know,
folks.
I know, I know.
But I digress. You feel me? So look, the first time you heard the takeover, what did you think was going on, bro?
Oh man, the first time I heard the takeover, this is 2001.
Yep.
This is my first year because that came out in
It came out. It came out. Well, he did
the
that
album
first
came out 2001, but the song came out. He debuted the song at
on
Summer
Summer
Jam,
Jam. Yeah.
and that was June.
Yep.
So we didn't
The
get the
Nas
album
part.
to yeah. We didn't get the Nas part till the album came out. But
In
yeah,
September. It came out on September the 11th.
yeah, September 11th. I had no idea. It was just like, cause like you got to think back then we didn't really have social media, so that Summer Jam clip
Yep.
really didn't make its way around till years later. It was just only like people heard about it and people talked about it, but it's not like how instant this is, where like how Kendrick did this, not like
Yeah.
us, and we
Yeah.
saw it the same night, even if you didn't watch the game.
That's right.
Um, but that set off a bomb. And the crazy thing is, we didn't get Ether till 6 months later.
And that's the part. But let me ask you
Which is
this:
crazy.
when you heard it, though, did you say, "Damn, man, Nas in trouble"?
Like the full version.
Yeah.
I didn't think Nas was in trouble. I looked at it as like, okay, this can be
Mm.
almost like a resurgence for him, and I think that's what it was. Like it's like almost like Jay walked him into that and like gave him battery. He put a big battery in his bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a little inkling of like when I heard the full version, I'm like, oh shit, like this nigga Jay was
So Jay at
nigga
that
Jay was annoyed
time.
as fuck.
Well, yeah, because he come off a Dynasty album. Then
Yeah.
you got Summer Jam. You got H to the Izzo out and all this shit. So you are that cat right now.
You're that guy. You're
And you
that.
like, I used to look up or look at Nas certain way. Now I'm the nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's like
so after he
that.
did that shit, I was like, And one of my homies used to be like, dog, he done damn MC Shan Nas ass, dog. This some bridges over shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is still Nas, dog.
Yeah, like
Give him
yeah,
a minute.
it still was Nas. Like we're not gonna sit there and be like,
Right.
oh, it's done. Like this is it's no, like nah, that's still Nas. Like
And it was hard. Don't get me wrong. And he and
hey,
he
no,
and
Takeover was hard. Takeover was
he,
hard,
he
but
stumped he
that
stumped Prodigy out with some Tim's on. I ain't
yeah,
gonna front.
but he woke his ass up.
He
That
did.
I think that's what everybody can come to a general consensus. He woke Nas the fuck up, and Nas did not look back after that.
He did, man. But I'm gonna say this real quick too, because I always, when I always think about people saying, he was cold for a minute, but you gotta look at what happened with Nas, man. Like when you think of 1999, going back to our, beginning of this conversation with Napster, and he talked about this recent. I'm glad Nas addressed it, how hurt he was, man, when his shit leaked. You gotta think he had, I am it's gonna be a double CD,
Yeah,
and then Napster leaks Drunk by Myself, all these, Blazer 50, all these classic songs that end up being on that Lost Tapes 1. This is
yeah.
part of his album.
Yeah, I mean, I do, that point in the industry was very confusing for a lot of people because they didn't know this digital storm was about to kick the labels and the artists' backs in. So that to them, I guess, even for Nas, like there was like a sign of betrayal. Like, damn, like niggas took my
Yeah,
shit and niggas leaked my shit and how long it took me to do this and the blood, sweat, pain, and tears. Nowadays
yeah,
when shit leaks, niggas be like, whatever, it's part of the game.
yeah.
Back then, niggas like they felt like that was like a form of stealing, which it was, but it was
Yeah, it
just
was.
like it was like, and I was a part of it, so I apologize. Uh,
Yeah, was a pirate too, but go ahead.
yeah, I was a pirate. But yeah, I can understand how people would feel about bodies of work and things
Yeah.
that they took time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears to create. How they would feel about that. So I totally understand where Nas is
But you know
coming
what? I still always get upset when I think about, like, in conversation, like, Nas and Columbia Records, whoever, yo, I'm gonna release that double CD any damn way. You know what I'm saying? Because you go out and you rush Nostradamus, and that's when people
from.
start
Yeah,
saying, he fell off. Well, he had just dropped Illmatic, it was written, and then
yeah,
even the version of I Am that came out got 4.5 mics in the source. You can
yeah.
say it was like 2 songs in there you didn't like, but he was spitting on there. You know what I'm saying? Undying
And then
Love,
and then and
like,
then
it's
and
crazy.
then Stillmatic came out. That was the one with Ether on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, still married 2001,
2000.
because yeah, it came in December 2001, I believe, because Blueprint came out in
Blueprint was September, and then we didn't
September.
hear Ether. Yeah, we didn't hear Ether till like 3 or 4 months later.
Yeah, because he dropped Ether on Jay-Z birthday.
December 4th. Yep.
Yeah. You talking about that kid, that diabolical shit Kendrick did? That's
Yeah,
what
listen,
Nas
that's
did.
that's probably where Kendrick got it from.
I mean, he did do Man in the Garden, kind of like one mic, so he was studying Nas too.
Yeah, that's that. But that's
Hey
that's
man,
that's that's the cloth and that's the texture and that's the thread of hip hop. That's
hey
that's why
man.
it's dope.
Speaking to Kendrick, this moment right here I want to bring up is Meet the Grams. The night that Meet the Grams came out,
Uh
I
huh.
did a video that went crazy. What was your thoughts when you heard Meet the Gram?
So, well, first, Family Matters comes out, right?
And it was dope.
Right. Family Matters was dope. We're at this well, we're me, like 2 or 3 of my boys were at this hookah spot. It's called Sahara East. It's in Lower East Side, right? And we play
Mhm.
our own music on the Bluetooth, whatever. So
Right,
this is in the height of the battle. So everybody's
right.
waiting to see, like, okay, who's gonna drop what, and this, like, we're looking at you now. We're looking at Twitter to see if links are
Yeah,
dropping. We're
it's
just,
exciting.
yeah, we're excited. Everybody's excited. So I think I got a text from somebody, and it was like, yo, he dropped. I'm like, because at this point, whenever someone says he dropped, we're like, who? Which one?
Right, right.
So it was like, no, Drake dropped. So my boy sends me the link. It's a YouTube link, and it's the video. So we're playing the music on the loudspeaker, like in the hookah spot, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're playing this shit over and over and over.
Oh
Like we're
yeah,
just
that
like
show was hot.
dissecting lyrics. We're watching the video, right?
Yeah.
There's a girl, there's a table of girls, like 3 or 4 tables down. And one of them comes up to us and was like, yo, can y'all change the song? We were like, no. Cause this is like even in the manager, his name's Ahmed. He's like, yo, we're like literally just watching this shit and we're just like dissecting this shit, arguing.
Right, right, right.
Bro, I'm telling you, about 20 minutes later, I get another text. I'm like, yo, he responded. So I'm like,
Right.
I know he ain't talking about Drake because he just dropped.
He just
So
dropped. Yeah.
I'm like, ain't no way. So I get another link. It's Meet the Grams. And we just sat there
Right.
and just in disbelief. I'm like, and we playing it back and back, and I'm just listening to. I'm like, yo, he addressed the entire family, the imaginary daughter, and
Never
you.
heard nothing like it.
And Alchemist was talking about this on Breakfast Club yesterday about how he didn't know Kendrick was going to use that beat for the beef, and how that that sample is from a gospel record.
What?
Yeah, the sample from Meet the Grams is from a gospel record.
That's
Alchemist.
even more diabolical.
Yeah, it's even more diabolic. But yeah, I just couldn't. I'm just like, yo, like this is that's
Didn't it
niggas you just
stun
don't.
you, man? It just stunned everybody.
It's like when someone punches you like in the chest that you didn't think was gonna punch you, but they did it anyway.
Caught you off guard.
And it's like, yo, did you just hit me? Did you just? So that I'm thinking Drake is probably listening to this shit and like, yo, did you just say that?
He told
And,
his son, let him be his mentor, my nigga.
yo, I'm like, all right,
And hey, look, to your point, I'm sitting in my living room, bro. I listen to Family Matters. I watched Family Matters the video. I'm like,
yeah, we
okay,
watching the video. We just
Drake out
watching
of
the
there.
video.
It's long, beats changing. He
Yeah,
flowing.
we
Then he
like,
had
yo, we like, oh, this
he's
nigga might,
spinning the
yo,
chain. He got the
yeah,
food.
we like, yo, this yo, he got his second win. All right,
Yeah,
bet
it
we
was
gonna,
almost like, but the thing was, Drake did that almost like a victory lap. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He laughing
yeah,
with his boys at the table, they eating, he's spinning the
yeah,
chain and all that.
yeah.
I'm like, yo, so it was like that. It was dope. But
We
man,
because we felt that we were like, yo, this nigga win.
yeah, I know. He was like,
Did he
wait a minute,
win?
what's going on? So I'm sitting there. My man texted me. He's like, man, nigga dropped again. I was like, I just saw the video, dog. Drake video. He's like, nah, nigga, Kendrick dropped. I was like, what? I go on the YouTube, dog. When
Yeah,
that dun 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 dun, I'm like, what the hell is this shit? And when
yeah.
that beat dropped, I listened to the whole
That
song in silence by myself, and I was like,
that is a gospel sample.
and then I played it back again to dissect the lyrics, the stuff he said to his, forget the imaginary daughter, the stuff
The
he
shit
said
he
to
said
his
this.
son, then
The shit he still the shit he was
mom,
saying to his mother.
his mother,
I'm
and then
like,
his dad. And in the last verse, again, what he said to him, I was like,
this is a
I don't
long
know how
life
you
battle
come
with
back from
yourself.
this shit. Yes, when he said that, I was like,
Yo,
I don't know how you come back.
when he opened up the record with Dear Sandra,
My goodness,
nigga, I wanted to fight him for him. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
I'm like, you're not about to bring my mom in this. I'm
man.
like, God
I just couldn't believe what I was listening to, bro. Because I was like I said, the first time I listened to it, I'm sitting there by myself. I'm
damn.
just staring at the damn TV screen, like, am I hearing this shit right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
this a real song? Is this a real song?
We were like, yo, these niggas really don't like each other. And it was for our amusement and entertainment, but it was like, yo, this is hip hop. Like, the
Hey, look,
pedophilia shit is crazy, yeah, whatever, and the abuse, the domestic abuse, but like that's battle rap. Like niggas have said way fucking worse, bro.
listen, man. I went through this whole thing, all these stupid ass comments under my video at the time. I'm like, look, some of y'all might be younger, so I can't fault you. I said, but battle rapping back in the day when I was coming up, dog, you know what? These cats were saying about each other. I
Yo,
said, can you? I said, you
and
know what
then
Tupac was talking about Prodigy's sickle cell, dog,
like dog, like fam, like what?
banging his wife, but being
I'm
wife, all
like,
this shit.
nigga, Pac started off first off, I fucked you. No, bro.
Yo,
It's just, hey, yo,
they don't
Pac.
have any idea. Even back in the early 2000s, when Siegel and Kiss and all them was rhyming, they all
They
about
was ready to
shooting.
kill each
They were
other.
shooting each other up.
And that's the thing. I'm looking at this beef. I'm like, yo, no one died.
No,
No one got no one got hurt. No one fought. None of that shit happened. These niggas between G Unit and the game,
cats were shooting at
between
each other.
shooting at each other, bro, like shooting up radio stations.
Yeah,
Like niggas getting stabbed, jumped in the studio, niggas going to like mothers' jobs and record like nigga 50 went to Khaled's mom's job
right.
and was like, "Yo, I know where she work. She can get it too." I'm like, bro, like these niggas just don't like each other. They just hate. They just hate rapping, and that's
Yeah,
fine. Like,
yeah. John 50 them had real altercations.
nigga, and in hotels and studios and
Yeah,
elevators getting poked up. I'm like, bro, like somebody was like, this battle is gonna do
going
is
too far.
dividing the culture. I'm like, did anybody die? Did anybody die? No, no.
Yeah,
Y'all
this
niggas
is
on Twitter and this dialogue of like, oh my god, this is so. I'm like, nigga, this is rap.
right.
Like, this is fucking rap. Like, y'all would have had a fucking conniption if y'all was listening to No Vaseline back when that shit dropped. So I don't even want to hear
Yeah,
nothing.
no Vaseline. I mean, Tim Dog had song "Fuck Compton."
Like, come on, bro. Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the stuff that
let
was
these
said
niggas,
about each other.
yeah, let these niggas get their shit off.
But speaking of Kendrick and Drake, just kind of this J. Cole thing, you know what I'm saying? When he did that, what he did, and I know a lot of people like, yo, he broke the cardinal rule of hip hop. But what did you think about that comeback song? Is that Port Antonio, man? Like when he addressed everything, what was your thoughts when you heard that?
That was something that he had to do on his own. That's something that he felt like he needed to address, and that's totally fine. And like, I would have preferred him not to jump out the window if he felt so strongly about, his relationship with Dot,
Yeah,
being thrown in the middle because of his relationship with Drake. But at the end of the day, I personally don't want to hear like the tough talk, like I'm number one and niggas can't blah blah blah. It's like, okay,
right.
like you're nice, like don't. That's not to be discussed. We know you're nice, but you kind of waved the white flag pretty early in regards to the battle, and I can see why you did that. I respect why you did it
Yeah,
because that's not your forte and that's not what you want to do. And you have a relationship with one of these people, both of them actually. So you chose not to get involved in that, and that takes in front of the world. That takes a
right.
lot of courage, and I respect the hell out of it. But if we go to just if we strip down all of that and just talk
Yeah,
about the rapping aspect, I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
dog, like you can't really, because that's all people gonna say to you. Like, well, nigga, you backed out. You went inside when
yeah,
niggas was getting real. You stepped off. You went
yeah,
back off the porch. So it's like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
yeah.
I respect the decision. So it is what it is.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. All right, last three questions,
All
bro.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, your favorite 3 years of hip hop.
My favorite 3 years of hip hop.
And while you thinking, I'll just tell you mine: 1988, 1994, and 1996. Now, 88, I'm a youngster. That's Rakim, KRS. That's, you know what I'm saying, like a real big moment for me because I was writing little stories at the time. I ain't writing poetry and all this shit. So I write, you know what I'm saying? So that's when like me really listen to Rakim and follow the leader as a short. And I'm like, I'm dissecting. I'm sitting beside the radio, keep
Yeah.
playing these songs over and over, learning the rhymes to them. So that whole moment, man, was, the Slick Rick, the KRS, G Rap, Ice Cube, you know what I'm saying, storytelling and stuff like that, the DOC, you know what I mean? So that year, 88 was big for me, Public Enemy and all that. And then 94, you know what I'm saying, I'm at school, I'm in college. That's of course, Illmatic, Ready to Die, you know what I'm saying? The West Coast still killing it. Murder Was the Case, Snoop, Outkast, you know what I'm saying? Then 1996 is a special year for me because I did my first episode of the Dawn podcast was called a Hip Hop War in 1996. And the
Mm,
reason why I called that low is because that summer was very interesting because J. Rue came out one day off that Wrath of the Math. De La Soul did the title track Stakes is High, and the Roots did What They Do. You know what I'm saying? All these cats was kind of going at the commercialization and stuff in hip hop in 96. But I'm
hmm.
like, damn, when they talking about 1995, because 1995 was loaded. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So why was they beefing? But then all of a sudden, Pac was also going at everybody in 1996. But then Dave from De La Soul was like, I'm sick of bitches shaking asses. That whole verse he did, you know what I'm saying? Sick of Versace glasses and all this stuff. But then you see what Black Thought was saying on what they do in the video. They make a mockery of East Coast and Big and all these cats, even though they denied it. But it was
Hmm.
still a hip hop war in 96. So 96 was one of the most it was one of the deepest years in hip hop history with two Pac albums. It was written the rise of Jay-Z with, well, not the rise, but Reasonable Doubt drops. And there's more things to come with him. Fuji's the score, Iron Man.
Hmm.
Like to me, it was the deepest year in hip hop history. Even though I feel like '88 was the best, '96 is the deepest, like 30 albums. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
mean, yeah, I would say 96 based on everything you just said, so I can't even really add to that. 96. Damn, that's a big question. College Dropout dropped when?
College Dropout was wasn't that 2004 ish?
Four. Yeah, 2004. That was like my last year in college. So that album alone changed my life. Just
That was a
that
great album. That
that
was a great
was
moment in hip hop.
that was a great moment in hip hop. This is such a fucking loaded question. I hate that you asked me this shit because
Somebody got to do it, baby.
I know somebody got to do it. 96, like that was the year I was really introduced. You know, like because I was a sports kid. Like I'm watching the Bulls, I'm watching the
Yeah,
Giants.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm listening to music here and there, whatever. Like my parents played music in the crib and all that other stuff, but like rap wasn't really a thing that I was into. It was just more like video games and basketball
Right,
and
right, right.
shit like that. My sister introduced me to just everything from 96, 97, 98, like Volume One,
Right,
DMX, Lost
right.
Boys, Lords of the Underground. Wu Tang, Bad Boy,
Yeah,
West Coast. It's just it was so much. Like 96 and 97 were just those 2 years where I was just like, oh shit, like over. It was like a mental overload
yeah.
in a
There's a
good
lot
way.
going on.
You know what I mean? And it just became. I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to be a producer. I wanted to be Clue. I wanted to be Swiss Beats. I wanted to be Primo. I wanted to be Timbaland.
Right.
I wanted to be every and everybody. I wanted to be
Yeah.
Funkmaster Flex. I wanted to
Right.
be Big Boy from I wanted to be all them niggas, bro. So like that 96, 97, those years was just like, oh,
Yeah.
this is where I'm taking it. This is
Yeah.
what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do, and I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. And I did. So like, yeah,
So so ni-
I'll just leave it at those 2 years
so
for me.
so 96, 97, and 2004.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, those, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and I, we're gonna have a part two to this conversation where I can have like where I
No
can
doubt.
really just for this segment where I can really think about how you broke your shit down because you've already done this shit plenty of times, so motherfucker, you already got it in your head.
Like, so you said I'm cheating, right?
Yes, nigga, you cheating.
But then we're gonna do this again then.
Yes, that's why I said part two. I'm gonna have a more in depth answer, but just off the dome, that's those 3 years that
Off the
stick out.
dome, baby. That's what we ate. Off the dome. But look at it. So all right, so listen to this. Your
uh,
5 favorite MCs. This is an easy one though.
Five favorite MCs.
Not your 5
Jay.
best. We'll do the best next time when
Okay,
we come back on.
my
These are just
five
your 5 favorite.
favorite. Jay, Kiss, Push, Cube, Jeezy.
So I'm glad you said that. Listen, bro. What was your thoughts when you first heard Thug Motivation 101?
Boy, oh boy.
And that's one of my questions I didn't ask you. And I love that album, bro. And we love it down. That shit was like Get Rich or Die Trying down here in the South, bro.
That was I again took the words right out of my mouth. It was so polarizing. It was so just like it was like the way we heard like when the shiny suit era was really kicking the door down and on radio and here fucking comes DMX.
Here he come. The
Here he
dog.
come. Right? That's what that was. Like
Yeah.
because I think it was like it wasn't the snap era yet, but I think this is
It
what
was right
2000.
before the snap, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is what 2005, right?
It was 5. It was
Yeah,
5.
2005. So this is I'm just leaving Howard, coming back up, and bro, I'm like I ain't never seen nothing like this, and that shit made its way,
It was a
and that
movie.
shit made its way to New York, and niggas, and obviously you signed to Def Jam and Hove with the big cosign and whatever, but like them niggas up north, they love Jeezy.
Yeah.
Loved him. And I'm
And
like,
they
yo,
love him
this.
too.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit his second home, and Philly love like that nigga was just, bro. That I like. I saw someone ask on Twitter like, what album do you wish to listen to for the first time again? And TM 101 is one of those albums that I wish I could sit
Bro.
and
When
not even have any idea of who Jeezy is and never heard anything from him. Just that be the first fucking thing because before that we heard Trap or Die. So
Yep.
we heard, yeah, we got one. We already kind of got
Yeah.
acclimated to what
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was
You know who
doing.
he was.
We knew who he was, but I wish I could just erase everything I knew and heard and seen about Jeezy and just put that in front of me and just put me in a big ass studio, give me a bottle of fucking Douce or Jameson, and and give me a hookah and just give me an hour and just let me listen to this shit by myself. I wish I could have that setting one day.
You know what? That's one of those moments where we've all had that moment where you put an album in, you sitting there doing the knowledge, you're like, yo, this shit is a classic. You know what I mean? Like I remember getting that TM, man, putting that joint in the ride, and that damn standing ovation came on. And I was like, what the hell is this?
We were like, what?
Then
Who?
track, banger after
Track after
banger.
track, track
I
after
get to the
track after track after track. We were just like, I'm just like, yo,
not
this
a
is.
bad track on that album,
I'm like, this is a bad motherfucker right here.
ain't it?
Like,
He
this
had
is
the
a cold
energy.
ass nigga.
He had the energy, the voice.
Yeah,
Just that he had the it factor, man. I wanted to bring it up because when we said Jesus, I'm like, man, I had that thought jotted
yeah.
down. Like, I want to ask you about that because
That
that's a
that
transcendent
that
album.
that it factor was there, clear as day,
So
clear as
for
day.
so for me, man, my five favorite, bro. Nas my favorite MC. Everybody know that. Been
Okay.
my favorite MC since I heard The World Is Yours, man. You know what I'm saying in college. But Rock Him to God, man. I still study this guy, man. Like
Yeah.
just something special. Most Def, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I got a sleeper who I listen to a lot, man. Jean Grey. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jean Grey.
I love Jean Grey.
Oh, I mean that's not a sleeper, but I mean, given your history and your just like who you are and what you represent, that's not surprising.
Okay, yeah, no doubt.
That ain't surprising. Like
Okay,
I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. That makes sense.
yeah, man, really like Jean Grey, man. And I might say that next person, I kind of go back and forth, man, with maybe KRS One, man. On one day it's KRS One, another day, man, it's Scarface. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of
There's
what
like those answers are good to have to debate. Because it's not like, okay, well, you say Karis one, it's like, what the fuck? And you say Scarface, it's like, no, yeah, I get that. Or yeah, I
yeah.
get that too. So it's like if you go either one, it's like boom, they both make sense.
Well, I was telling somebody the other day, and this might be for discussion at one point too, man. Somebody responded on one of my videos about, I had Kendrick. I said he's moving some people out of that top 10. You know what I'm saying? And one guy said something about Kane. And I love Kane, but I said, hey, I personally had Scarface. Just side note, higher. Not that Scarf. You can say who the best, whatever. My point was, long live the Kane, and he had like two dope, real dope albums. I mean, Legend, one of the greatest MCs of all time. I'm a big Daddy Kane fan. He's down here at NC. Met him several times. Cool brother. He's everything that I thought he'd be when I first met him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I said Scarface outside of the Ghetto Boys discography, we're talking about a long list from the Diary to the Fix, the Untouchable. All of these joints, man, that Scarface has, man, deeply rooted. I said, man, you could argue Scarface has maybe one of the top 5 solo discographies in hip hop. That's a real debate. If anybody want to go Google and look at his discography,
You can, but when you have these debates and these not even debates, when you have these conversations, it has to be very important who you're talking to.
that's true.
It got to be very, very important, and it's no slight to young, old, new,
No, no,
whatever
no
the
doubt.
case is. It's no slight. It's just like
It's a
you got to know
polarizing
who you.
conversation.
Yeah, you got to know who you're talking to
Yeah,
because someone might. Because I remember I would say a couple times like, yeah, Ice Cube is one of my top MCs. Ice Cube, what? And it's like, yeah,
right.
I know. I'm not even gonna do that
Yeah,
with you.
don't even waste your time on that.
I'm like, yeah, yep, Ice Cube. All right, next conversation. So it's like you got to know exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking about, who you're talking to, and
you got to read the room on that. You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
because it ain't for these this ain't for everybody.
It's not. All right, final one, man.
All right.
Yo, 5 favorite albums. No, just say favorite albums. Yeah, it was favorite albums.
5 favorite albums.
Yeah,
Um, not in no order, right?
no order.
Um, okay. Off the rip, Legal Drug Money by the Lost Boys.
Man, that's so slept on, bro. The storytelling, the beats, the rhyme.
What?
Mr. Cheeks is a slept on. He's a very dope MC, man.
Love him.
Very.
Love him. Love
And I
him.
love Freaky Tide. God bless the
Rest in
dead.
peace, man.
His energy. Well, I remember I was watching Les Cooper Beam, and it's just like, man,
That
he just had that.
that's
He
the
was the spirit of it.
that's the epitome of a hype man.
He was the spirit of Lost Boys.
Yes, he was. He was. So yeah, God bless his
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
So favorite. So yeah, Lost Boys, Legal Drug Money, Jay-Z Volume One.
Oh, okay.
Jay-Z Volume One,
Slept on.
Doggy Style,
Okay.
TM 101, uh Daytona.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. That Daytona, man, Kanye, that was like for me the last great moment for me, person production wise. Like
Yeah.
it was like flawless, man. What 7, 8 tracks, man. I really listened to it.
Seven flawless tracks. Seven.
Flawless, man.
And like
Surgical.
and I, not to cut you off, but like I hate these questions because tomorrow it might be Victory Lap from Nip.
Oh,
It
that's all
might
good.
be Lords of the Underground. It might
Woo!
it might be fucking Dom Kennedy, the original Dom Kennedy.
Man, that was Lowe's Underground was down here, man, like 2 years ago. Ninth for our high school graduation joint every year. Well, every other year, rather, he brings certain cats down here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So Lowe's Underground was here and Buckshot was here. But and Nice and Smooth came, Brand Nubians
Yeah.
came. Yo, it's some
Like,
ill shows that people put on down here, man. But yeah, man, Lowe's, they still sound good live, man.
yeah, Lords of the Underground. Like again, and I'm gonna make sure my sister sees this. My sister put me on the Lords of the Underground.
Word.
Straight from Newark, New Jersey. So it's like,
Hey, your sister hip hop head, ain't she?
yeah, nigga,
That's
this
why
is
I've
where I
heard you
get it
reference
from.
her twice on here.
Yeah, this is where I get it from. I get it from her. I
That's
get
dope,
all
though,
that.
man.
She
That's
could,
dope.
she could literally recite Money, Power, Respects, the Lox's debut album, front to back.
Hey, I love that album, bro.
Front to back. Insane. Front to back. And every time we're in the car, she does it. Business
Side
from
note, that's,
Eastwick,
hey,
like just everything.
that's my favorite Locks group album.
Yo, that's her favorite album. That between
Yo,
that and Volume One.
that album crazy.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, yeah. So those are that's my 5 today. Next
All right.
conversation, we'll probably have a different 5.
Yeah. My favorite rap album of all time is Midnight Marauders by
Yeah,
Tribe Called Quest. Tribe my favorite group, man. Even though I think Outkast is the greatest, Tribe my favorite.
yeah,
Another album, Illmatic. I know
yeah.
every
Of
word to
course,
it. You know
of
what I'm
course.
saying? Aquemini.
Okay.
Brilliant album, bro.
Yes.
That's my other favorite. Only built for Cuban links.
Yeah.
Man, that striving for perfection, baby. Man, I love Raekwon, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love. Real side note, when Nas did that album, the Magic 3, he had the video for that joint Fever.
Yeah.
The video at the end is Ray talking like, yo, you one of the League of Extraordinary Men. You know, Ray always on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always on that. So it's that
Nah,
joint and then the Chronic, man. Like, I'm going to
of
tell you
course.
something, bro. When the Chronic came out, man, all I can tell you is down here in North Carolina, it was like an atomic bomb, bro.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't go anywhere.
Couldn't go anywhere else without hearing that shit.
The Chronic was everything down here, man. We played that. You couldn't tell me a better album at that time when I heard that Chronic, dog.
That was probably the end all be all for you.
It was, man. I mean, before that, it was probably Takes a Nation or Paid in Full or something. But once I heard that Chronic, it just blew everything out the frame to me until I heard.
It took you to a different zone.
It did, man. It did, man. But look, man, hey, we definitely gotta have a part 2.
I'm ready, bro.
Because you feel like I cheated tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Just in one aspect. Just
okay.
the 3-year conversation that kind of threw me off. I'm like, damn, like I gotta really sit back and think like so many years, so many songs, so many albums, so many things that happen and so many parts of that, leading up to where we at right now. So I need a good week to really think about that shit because you done thought about it plenty of times and your answers probably done changed with everybody you done talked to. So
see that? No. I'm gonna tell you something. That certain answers don't change.
Okay.
Midnight Marauders don't. My top 5 really don't change that much. At least 3 of them don't. Midnight Marauders never gonna change, and the Chronic ain't gonna change, and probably Illmatic ain't gonna change.
Yeah, my volume 1 and Lost Boys is not gonna change.
See, man, but I'm just so glad you brought up the Lost Boys, man, because I still feel like, you know what I'm saying, that they don't get the props they deserve, man. And like they made great music. They made great feel-good music too. A lot of times you watch their videos.
They made good Hugh music too. Like they was
all of that.
But it was still
Storyteller with Renee, all that.
Yeah, it was still flying fun. So shout out to the Lost Boys.
Definitely fly, man. Definitely fly fun and still hood at the same time, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, look, don't go yet, man. But look, good people, episode 81, we out of here. Peace.